Okay friends, after the discussion about the variation of molar conductivity with concentration and d by Huckel-Onsager equation for strong electrolyte, now there was a problem. Suppose we want to determine the infinite molar conductivity for weak electrolyte, how can we measure? Because d by Huckel-Onsager equation is not useful there, and that graphical method is also not useful there. Then how can we determine the infinite molar conductivity for weak electrolyte? To solve this problem, a special law has been given, that is known as Colrose law. So in this class we are going to discuss about Colrose law. Colrose law. First of all, what is Colrose law? Colrose law explains that the infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte is the sum of the infinite molar conductivity of all the ions present in that electrolytic solution. First, I write the definition. The infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte is the sum of infinite molar conductivities of all the ions present in that electrolytic solution. Means is that for the infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte, all the ions which present in that electrolytic solution contributes. This is the meaning of Colrose law. The infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte is the sum of infinite molar conductivities of all the ions present in that electrolytic solution. Just for an example, suppose we have an example of electrolyte, that is Ab. When this Ab electrolyte dissociate into water, it will forms A plus and B minus, and we want to determine the lambda infinite m of this Ab electrolyte. That will be the sum of all the ions, means all the cations which present here, plus all the anions which present here. Nu plus and nu minus, it is the number of cations, nu minus number of anions, lambda infinite m A plus infinite molar conductivity of cation, lambda infinite m B minus infinite molar conductivity of anion. So this is the mathematical expression of Colrose law. With the help of Colrose law, we can determine the infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte. Now the second part is, what are the application of this Colrose law? Application of Colrose law. application of Colruy's law. There are 4 applications of Colruy's law. The first application, that is in the determination of infinite molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte. The second application, that is to determine degree of deassociation. The third application, that is to determine deassociation constant and fourth, to determine solubility of sparingly soluble salt. Sparingly soluble salt means those salts which are not completely mixed into the water, dissolve into the water. So these are the 4 applications of Colruy's law. The first is in the determination of lambda infinite m of a weak electrolyte. Second, to determine degree of deassociation. Third, to determine deassociation constant. And the fourth, to determine solubility of sparingly soluble salt. Now, the first we have already discussed how can we determine the lambda infinitum of a weak electrolyte, like the example of AB. The second, to determine degree of deassociation. The second application, to determine degree of deassociation. The symbol of degree of deassociation, that is alpha, and alpha is the ratio of molar conductivity at any concentration upon the infinite molar conductivity. This is the formula to calculate or determine alpha, degree of deassociation. It is the ratio of molar conductivity at any concentration other than concentration 0 and lambda infinite m. Now, the third application, that is to determine deassociation constant. Now, the third application, to determine deassociation constant. In the previous class, in the chapter number 7, ionic equilibrium, we have studied about K and Kb. Ka, deassociation constant for weak acid, Kb, deassociation constant for weak bases. So, the same thing we will apply here. Deassociation constant, suppose that is Ka, and we have studied that this is C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. This relation we have studied in the previous class. K is equals to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. Now put the value of alpha in this equation. So it will become like this: lambda m upon lambda infinite m power 2 upon 1 minus alpha. This is 1 minus alpha lambda m upon lambda infinite m. Solve it again. Ka is equals to C into lambda m square upon lambda infinite m square upon, to solve the denominator side, take LCM, it will gives lambda infinite m at denominator side 1 upon 1, that will be equals to lambda infinite m minus lambda infinite m to lambda infinite m cancel one at one time, it is lambda m. Further rearrange this equation, it will be c into lambda m square upon lambda infinite m square into lambda infinite m upon lambda infinite m minus lambda m. Solve it. Lambda infinite m to 1 power lambda infinite m cancel out. The rest of the things as it is. So the formula of de-association constant will be here, k is equals to c into lambda infinite m square lambda m square upon lambda infinite m into lambda infinite m minus lambda m. So by using this equation we can determine the de-association constant for weak electrolyte by the help of Colrose law. The first application we have discussed in the definition, how can we determine the lambda infinite m of a weak electrolyte. To determine degree of de-association, this is here, alpha is equals to lambda m upon lambda infinite m. Third, to determine de-association constant, this is the explanation, how can we determine the K value with the help of Colrose law. And the last, to determine solubility of sparingly soluble salt. To explain the last application of solubility of sparingly soluble salt, we have to consider the relation between lambda m and concentration. Look at here. For this, we know that lambda m is equals to kappa into 1000 upon C. C is the concentration. And we know that solubility is also the part of concentration. It means we can replace concentration by the term solubility. So we can write this equation in this manner also. Lambda m is equals to kappa into 1000 upon solubility S. Don't be confused, this is not Siemens, this is solubility symbol. So we have replaced concentration by solubility. So again, the formula of solubility for sparingly soluble salt will be here, kappa into 1000 upon lambda m. So with the help of this Colrose law, we can determine the solubility of a sparingly soluble salt. Okay, you will be surprised, sir. In the beginning, we have started this topic that this helps in the determination of lambda infinite m of a weak electrolyte. Then we are correlating this with the fourth application to determine solubility of a sparingly soluble salt. And here there is no value of lambda infinite m. Then how can we say that this is the application of Colrose law? Dear friends, it is clear that there is no contribution of lambda infinite m here, but indirectly the lambda m is related to the lambda infinite m in the terms of degree of de-association, because the sparingly soluble salt will be less ionized in the water, and when the ionization is less, we need degree of de-association. So with the help of degree of de-association, we will find out lambda m, and after finding the lambda m, we can find out solubility. So this is all about the application of Colrose law. Some of the numericals of this topic based on the Colrose law and its application. So we are going to discuss and the solution about the problem based on Colros law. Okay. For that, the first question that is based on this Colros law is in text question number 8. In text question number 8. And what is the question? I am writing, suggest a way to determine lambda infinite m for water. Suggest a way to determine lambda infinite m for water. Now, again, the question is that why should we apply Colros law here to determine the lambda infinite m for water? Because water is a weak electrolyte. Whenever we add some drops of strong acid or base in the water, its ionization will not be fast, not be start, we can say. So, water is a weak electrolyte and its lambda infinite m cannot be determined without the help of Colros law. So, we are using this Colros law here. We know that when water ionizes, it forms H plus and OH minus. So, if we want to find out the lambda infinite m of water, we should know then lambda infinite m of H plus as well as lambda infinite m of OH minus. And for the lambda infinite m of H plus and lambda infinite m of OH minus, we need 3 strong electrolytes. By the help of these 3 strong electrolytes lambda infinite m, we can determine lambda m infinite m of H plus and lambda infinite m of OH minus. Now the question is that which type of strong electrolyte we should use here? We should use those strong electrolyte here where the water is produced. And when we are dealing with the electrolytes, we know very well, generally the electrolytes are acid and bases, and when acid react with a base, it produces salt and water. It means we have to select those strong electrolytes which reacts to each other and forms salt along with the water. So, the best example of such type of reaction, that is neutralization reaction, when an acid react with a base and convert into salt and water. But the condition is that acid and base both should be strong there, because there is no chance for weak electrolyte, because water itself is a weak electrolyte, and when we use the weak electrolyte there, again there will be a problem to determine the lambda infinite m of that electrolyte. So, we should use strong electrolytes there. So, the best example is when HCl react with NaOH, it convert into NaCl along with water. Answer is in our pocket. If we have the value of lambda infinite m of HCl, lambda infinite m of NaOH and lambda infinite m of NaCl, we can find out the lambda infinite m of H2O. How we can find out? Look at here. The lambda infinite m of HCl will be the product of lambda infinite m of H plus and lambda infinite m of Cl minus. Second, lambda infinite m of NaOH will be equals to lambda infinite m of Na plus lambda infinite m of OH minus. And last, third, lambda infinite m of NaCl is lambda infinite m of Na plus lambda m infinite m of Cl minus. Suppose this is equation first, this is second, and this is third. Okay. So our desired product means we need lambda infinite m of H plus and lambda infinite m of OH minus present in which equation? First, lambda m infinite H plus is there, in the second lambda m infinite OH minus is there, but when we combine first and second, there are two additional contribution of lambda infinite m of Na plus and lambda infinite m of Cl minus. So we should neutralize it. For that, we subtract the equation number third. So what will the equation? Subtract, first we will write here, add equation first and second, then subtract equation number third. So equation will be like this: lambda infinite m of HCl plus lambda infinite m of NaOH minus lambda infinite m of NaCl. This will give the lambda infinite m of water. Put the value of lambda m infinite of HCl here. It will be lambda m H plus lambda m infinite Cl minus plus lambda m infinite Na plus lambda m infinite OH minus lambda m infinite Na plus lambda m infinite Cl minus. Because before this bracket there is a negative sign, so this lambda infinite m Na plus will be minus and this lambda infinite m Cl minus must be minus. So lambda infinite m Cl minus, lambda infinite m Cl minus cancel out, lambda infinite m Na plus, lambda infinite m Na plus cancel out, the remaining will be the lambda m of H plus lambda m of OH minus is equals to lambda m infinite of H2O. So in this manner we can determine the lambda infinite m of H2O. Now the second problem, which based on the Colrose law, that is again in text question number 2.9. Sorry, 3.9 is pardon. Okay. In text question number 3.9, and the question is the molar conductivity of 0.025 moles per liter methanoic acid is 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Calculate its degree of deassociation and deassociation constant constant. This is the problem which we have to solve, which based on Colrose law. I repeat the question. The molar conductivity of 0.09 the conductivity of 0.025 moles per liter methanoic acid is 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Calculate its degree of dissociation and dissociation constant. As usual, first we have to write given what has been given, molar conductivity lambda m, that is equals to 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. The second thing is concentration has been given, that is 0.025 moles per liter. And what we have to calculate? Degree of dissociation. First we have to calculate alpha. Second, dissociation constant. We have to also calculate Ka, dissociation constant. So okay, first for alpha, we know that alpha is equals to the lambda m upon lambda infinite m. First we need alpha. For the alpha we need lambda m, lambda infinite m. Okay. So the value of lambda m has been given there. Okay. But the value of lambda infinite m has not been given. Okay. But the lambda m infinite, for the lambda m infinite, two things has been given there. First is lambda m infinite of H plus and lambda m infinite of HCOO minus formate ion. These two additional information also has been given there. Lambda H plus, that has given 349.6. This is 349.6 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. The second thing which has given the lambda infinite m of formate ion, that is 54.6 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So to calculate the lambda infinite m of methanoic acid, it will be here. The formula of methanoic acid, that is HCOOH. Lambda infinite m of methanoic acid is lambda infinite m of H plus lambda infinite m of HCOO minus. By putting the values of lambda m infinite H plus, lambda m infinite HCOO minus, we will get the lambda infinite m of HCOOH. So it will be here 349.6 plus 54.6. So it will be here 2 carry 1, 10 plus 4, that is 14, carry 1, 5 plus 5, 0, then carry 1, that will be 404.2 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. This is the value of lambda infinite m of formic acid. After getting the value of lambda m infinite m of formic acid, now put this value in the equation for alpha, and the equation for alpha is lambda m, that was given there, that is 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse upon lambda infinite m 404.2 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Unit cancel out, solve it, you will get the value of alpha here. After getting the value of alpha, now use this for Ka. The Ka is equals to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. C has been given, that is 0.025. Put the value of C here, alpha square, whatever value you have find out, put this value here upon 1 minus alpha. Now solve it, you will get the value of Ka. So in this manner we can solve this problem. So these were the two first problems based on Kohlrausch law. Some of the problems are also there. We are just going to discuss about them also. Now the next problem, that is exercise question number 10. In the exercise question number 10, I repeat the question number 10. The conductivity of sodium chloride at 298 Kelvin has been determined at different concentration and the results are given there. Calculate lambda m for all concentration and draw a plot between lambda m and square root of concentration. Find the value of lambda infinite m. So this is the problem which we have to solve. This is exercise question number 3.10. Okay. The conductivity of NaCl at 298 Kelvin has been determined at different concentration and the results are given below. The first part concentration, second part conductivity 10 to the power 2 into kappa. Unit has been given Siemens meter inverse. First 0.001, that is 1.237. Second 0.010, 11.85. Third 0.020, 23.15. Next 0.050, that is 55.53, and the last, that is 0.100, 106.74. And he is asking about calculate lambda m for all concentrations and draw a plot between lambda m and square root of concentration, and also find the value of lambda infinite m. This is our problem. Okay, don't bother about that. What is the length of the question? Is very easy questions. Okay, first, what has been given? Concentration has given and conductivity has been given in the power of 10 to the power of 10. Calculate lambda m for all concentration, means we have to calculate lambda m for all the types of concentrations. Means we have to start from 0.01, then we have to start 0.010, then 0.100, 020, all these things we have to complete. Okay. Now look at here. 10 to the power 2 into kappa, unit has been given Siemens per meter inverse. Okay. So first calculate lambda m for 0.001. The formula is lambda m is equals to kappa into 1000 upon C, concentration. Put the value of kappa here, it will be here 1.237 into 10 to the power 2 upon concentration. The concentration is 0.001. Solve it, you will find the lambda m. In the same manner, you have to calculate all the lambda m value for all the concentration. After getting all the value of lambda m, now the next is plot. Plot means we have to draw a graph between lambda m and under root of concentration. Okay. So because the given electrolyte is NaCl, so definitely you will obtain a graph in this manner, like this. So this is the graph. Then find the value of lambda infinite m. How we can find out the lambda infinite m? For strong electrolyte, when concentration approaches 0, it means when we extrapolate this graph backside, this value will be the lambda infinite m of NaCl. In this manner, you can solve this question. Now friends, one more problem is based on the Colrose law, and that is the exercise question number 11. Exercise question number 11, and that is conductivity of T of 0.00241 molar acetic acid is 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse. Calculate its molar conductivity. Calculate its molar conductivity. If lambda m infinite for acetic acid is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse, what is its deassociation constant? What is its deassociation constant? This is our problem. Conductivity of 0.0241 molar acetic acid is 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse. Calculate its molar conductivity if lambda m infinite for acetic acid is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. What is its deassociation constant? Easy part, as usual, given what has been given, conductivity has given, that is 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse. Concentration has been given, that is 0.00241 molar. First target is, one more thing is given, lambda infinite m. Lambda infinite m of acetic acid, that is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. What we have to calculate? Its molar conductivity. The first thing which we have to calculate, that is molar conductivity. Second, what is its dissociation constant? We have to calculate Ka also for this one. So first, to calculate lambda m, we know very well lambda m relation with kappa, that is kappa into 1000 upon C concentration. Kappa, that is here 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse into 1000 upon concentration, that is 0.00241 molar. Okay. You are observing that at numerator side the value has been given in the centimeter, but at the denominator side the value has been given, that is in liter. Okay. So one more thing is there, when we derive the relation kappa into 1000 upon C, okay, this 1000 comes from the volume 1000 ml, okay, per liter. So first of all we will change like this, 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse into 1000 upon 0.00241 moles per liter. Further, moles per liter will be changed into centimeter inverse unit. No need to multiply again by 1000. Reason is that we have already multiplied this entire unit by the 1000. So there should be no confusion. So per liter means 1000, then 1000 convert into centimeter cube. No. So it is here 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse into 1000 upon 0.00241 mole per liter will be changed into centimeter cube. Again rearrange equation. It will be here 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse into 1000 into centimeter cube. This centimeter cube comes from the denominator side, goes upward upon 241 mole. Okay, this is centimeter cube, this is centimeter inverse. It will change into 7.896 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Siemens centimeter square into 1000 upon 0.00241 mole. Okay. Now when you solve it, it will comes 32.76 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. This is the value of lambda m. Our first target has been achieved, lambda m. Now after lambda m, the next thing which we have to discuss or determine, that is Ka, dissociation constant. And we know that the formula of dissociation constant, that is equals to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. C we are already with us 0.00241, but we do not have alpha value. To calculate the alpha, the formula is lambda m upon lambda infinite m. We have both the values, lambda m that is 32.76 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse, lambda infinite m that is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Cancel out. Now solve it. You will get the value of alpha. Put the value of alpha here and calculate Ka. This is all about from the Colrose law, its application, and all the numericals of NCERT which based on the Colrose law.